Welcome to Honeycutt Homestead. There's nothing quite like biting into a juicy sun-warmed tomato straight from the vine. Growing your own tomatoes is easier than you might think, and the rewards are immeasurable. Imagine salads bursting with flavor, sauces made with your own homegrown produce, and the satisfaction of knowing you nurtured those vibrant red fruits from tiny seeds. Tomatoes are one of the most popular garden vegetables, and for good reason. They're incredibly versatile in the kitchen, and the taste of a homegrown tomato far surpasses anything you'll find in the supermarket. Whether you have a spacious backyard or a sunny windowsill, there's a tomato variety perfect for you. In this essay, we'll explore the wonderful world of tomato growing, from choosing the right variety to pruning for optimal growth and harvesting those delicious fruits. So let's get our hands dirty and discover the joy of growing tomatoes. Get ready to be amazed by how simple it is to cultivate these garden treasures. With a little care and attention, you'll be enjoying the fruits of your labor in no time. Let's get started. Before we dive into pruning, let's get familiar with the different types of tomato plants. Understanding their growth habits is key to providing the right support and care. The three main types you'll encounter are indeterminate, determinate, and dwarf tomatoes. Indeterminate tomatoes, also known as vining tomatoes, are the true climbers of the tomato world. These vigorous growers will continue to grow and produce fruit throughout the growing season until frost arrives. They require sturdy support such as stakes or cages to keep their sprawling vines in check. Popular indeterminate varieties include Sun Gold, Brandywine, and Cherokee Purple. Determinate tomatoes, on the other hand, are more compact and bushy. They grow to a certain height, set all their fruit within a short period, and then stop growing. This makes them ideal for containers or smaller gardens where space is limited. Look for varieties like Roma, Celebrity, and Rutgers if you prefer determinate tomatoes. Lastly, dwarf tomatoes are perfect for patios and even windowsills. These compact plants stay small and manageable, reaching heights of only 2 to 4 feet. Despite their size, they still produce an abundance of flavorful tomatoes. Tiny Tim, Patio Princess, and Tumbling Tom are a few popular dwarf varieties to try. Now that we know the differences between tomato types, let's talk about pruning. Pruning is like giving your tomato plants a haircut. It helps them grow strong, healthy, and produce more fruit. But remember, each type of tomato plant needs a slightly different approach. Indeterminate tomatoes are the pruning superstars. These vigorous growers benefit greatly from regular pruning to keep their growth in check and encourage more fruit production. The key is to focus on removing the suckers, those small shoots that emerge from the joint where a branch meets the main stem. To prune suckers, simply pinch them off with your fingers or a pair of pruning shears when they're about 2 inches long. Removing suckers redirects the plant's energy towards growing larger, more flavorful tomatoes. You can also prune off any leaves that are touching the ground to improve air circulation and reduce the risk of diseases. Remember, pruning indeterminate tomatoes is a continuous process throughout the growing season. Check your plants every week or two and remove any new suckers or diseased leaves to keep them healthy and productive. Determinate tomatoes are a bit less demanding when it comes to pruning compared to their indeterminate counterparts. Since they grow in a more compact, bushy shape and stop growing after setting fruit, the main goal of pruning is to improve air circulation and allow sunlight to reach the ripening tomatoes. When pruning determinate tomatoes, focus on removing any suckers that appear below the first flower cluster. These lower suckers can sap energy from the plant and reduce the overall yield. You can also prune off any leaves that are yellowing, damaged, or touching the ground. Unlike indeterminate tomatoes, determinate varieties don't require constant pruning. Once you've shaped the plant and removed any unwanted growth, you can sit back and enjoy the anticipation of those delicious tomatoes ripening on the vine. Remember, while pruning is essential for healthy tomato plants, always use clean, sharp tools to avoid damaging the plant and spreading diseases. Section 5, Pruning Dwarf Tomatoes, Minimal Intervention, Maximum Flavor. Dwarf tomatoes are the low-maintenance champions of the tomato world. Their compact size and naturally tidy growth habit mean they require minimal pruning. In fact, over-pruning dwarf varieties can actually reduce their yield. However, it's still a good idea to keep an eye out for any suckers that may appear and pinch them off to encourage airflow and prevent overcrowding. You can also remove any yellowing or damaged leaves to keep the plant looking its best. The beauty of dwarf tomatoes lies in their simplicity. They're perfect for gardeners who are short on space or time but still want to enjoy the fresh, homegrown flavor of tomatoes. Section 6. Timing is key. When to prune your tomato plants. Knowing when to prune your tomato plants is just as important as knowing how to prune. The best time to start pruning is when your plants are about 12 inches tall and have a few sets of true leaves. This usually happens a few weeks after transplanting them into the garden. For indeterminate tomatoes, continue pruning throughout the growing season, removing suckers and any diseased or damaged leaves every week or two. Determinate tomatoes, on the other hand, only need to be pruned a few times during the season, mainly to remove lower suckers and improve air circulation. Avoid pruning your tomato plants during the hottest part of the day, as this can stress the plants and make them more susceptible to disease. Early morning or late evening, when temperatures are cooler, is the ideal time for pruning. Section 7. The art of pruning tools and techniques. Pruning tomato plants doesn't require any fancy equipment. A simple pair of pruning shears or even your fingers will do the trick. However, using sharp, clean tools is essential to prevent damaging the plant and spreading diseases. When pruning suckers, make a clean cut close to the main stem, being careful not to damage the stem itself. If you're using your fingers, simply pinch the sucker off with your thumb and forefinger. When removing leaves, cut the leaf stem close to the main stem, again making a clean cut to avoid damaging the plant. Remember, pruning should be done with care and precision to ensure the health and productivity of your tomato plants. Section 8. Harvesting your bounty. Signs of a ripe tomato. After all your hard work pruning and caring for your tomato plants, the moment of truth has arrived: harvesting. Knowing when to pick your tomatoes is key to enjoying their full flavor and juiciness. A ripe tomato will be firm to the touch and have a deep, rich color, whether it's red, yellow, orange, or even purple, depending on the variety. The skin should be smooth and slightly glossy, and the tomato should have a sweet aroma. To harvest, gently twist the tomato until it detaches from the vine, or use a pair of pruning shears to snip the stem just above the tomato. Avoid pulling on the tomato, as this can damage the plant.
Know you've been a good friend.
Section 9. Extending the season. Harvesting and ripening green tomatoes. As the growing season comes to an end and cooler temperatures approach, you may find yourself with a few green tomatoes still on the vine. Don't worry, these green tomatoes can still be enjoyed. There are several ways to ripen them indoors and extend your tomato enjoyment. One method is to place the green tomatoes in a paper bag with a ripe banana or apple. The ethylene gas released by the ripening fruit will help speed up the ripening process of the tomatoes. Another option is to place the green tomatoes in a single layer on a windowsill out of direct sunlight. Keep an eye on them and turn them occasionally to ensure even ripening. Section 10. From garden to table. Enjoying your homegrown harvest. There's nothing quite like the taste of a fresh homegrown tomato. Their flavor is unmatched by anything you'll find in the supermarket. Once you've harvested your ripe tomatoes, the possibilities for enjoying them are endless. Slice them up for sandwiches and salads, toss them with pasta, or roast them to bring out their natural sweetness. You can also preserve your harvest by making tomato sauce, salsa, or even drying them for a tasty snack. No matter how you choose to enjoy them, homegrown tomatoes are a true delight for the senses. Section 11. Conclusion. Sow the seeds of satisfaction, grow your own tomatoes. Growing your own tomatoes is a rewarding experience that connects you with nature and provides you with an abundance of delicious, healthy produce. From choosing the right variety to pruning for optimal growth and harvesting those juicy fruits, each step of the process is filled with anticipation and satisfaction. Whether you have a spacious backyard or a sunny windowsill, there's a tomato plant out there waiting to thrive under your care. So, why not give it a try? Sow the seeds of satisfaction, nurture those seedlings, and discover the joy of growing your own tomatoes. You'll be amazed by the flavor and freshness that only comes from homegrown produce.